Hey, get. What did she just do?
Oh, shit. Okay, it's okay.
She took Nick's camera. She just stole Nick's camera. Let's get her.
No, give him the camera! Give him the camera!
Just tell her to give him the camera back.
Give him the camera!
What happened, Nick?
They just stole my camera.
Right out of your hand while you're in the car?
Well, 1,500 American soldiers have been ordered by the Pentagon to prepare for possible deployment to Minnesota. That's according to a defence official. State officials have also mobilised the National Guard to assist with tasks such as crowd control and support for law enforcement. The Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey believes the act is to intimidate the state's residents.
I don't think Holman understands the basic dynamic as to how stuff works in Minnesota here. But the bottom line is, as we know, this is not about safety. It's not about crime. This is about intimidation. And in Minneapolis, we're not going to be intimidated.
The boost in troops comes in the wake of a shooting involving ICE agents in the American state.
It's interesting what Donald Trump has said about Iran in recent days. I think his rhetoric certainly had an effect. It's had an effect on protesters and also the clerical leadership there. But would he have the support of the American people if he was to intervene further in Iran? Because it looks to me, after the bombing of the nuclear facilities, what we've seen in Venezuela, Trump often has support when the American public thinks it's one and done. If he shows signs in getting into a long, protracted war, again, like what we saw with previous administrations in Afghanistan, that's when he'll start to lose support. Is that right?
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail right on the head there. In the aftermath of the initial strikes on Iran, the American people were supportive, but you saw a lot of concern in the polling about, what does our longer term engagement look like? And you had folks on the left and even some more isolationist folks from what would traditionally be President Trump's coalition, expressing these concerns about, the 20-year forever war and nation building in the Middle East, for which certainly nobody here in the United States has an interest in doing that. But what we've seen with Iran and what we've seen in Venezuela is President Trump's not going to blunder us into, a 20-year forever conflict. He's going to move with force to protect American interests and to implement that America First agenda. And he's really demonstrating that you can be America First just with peace through strength, and that it doesn't necessarily mean isolationism and withdrawing from the national stage. And certainly I'm sure that the Ayatollah and the IRGC leadership, that they probably haven't been sleeping very well over the last few weeks. And I think that's probably going to continue for the next weeks and months.
Nicholas, you say peace through strength, and if we could kind of transplant that into the domestic landscape there as well, I think, you know, continues to show strength, for want of a better term, when it comes to ICE raids. Also, you know, his targeting of Jerome Powell. Does that go down well? Both of these issues, very separate, of course, but does that go down well with American voters? Because I have noted there's a bit of a split here from the MAGA base on both of those issues.
Yeah, I think Trump's brand is unique. And what we've seen in our polling is since November, Trump's image has actually improved by 6 points, which means 6% more Americans think he's doing a good job versus a bad job. And even more specifically, when you start to talk to them about what Trump's achievements are domestically, his favorability improves even more significantly. And I think when you look in particular at this ICE issue, President Trump was elected. One of the two pillars was immigration. The other was the economy and inflation. And what we've seen is Trump has done such a good job at the southern border in stopping the flow of new illegal immigrants into the United States that issue is not as top of mind for swing voters and for everyday Americans as they think about who they want to elect in our congressional elections here in November of this year. And I think the Democrats may be making a huge mistake by bringing this issue back to the forefront by challenging him on domestic immigration policy, because the American people, they may not always like the way that the sausage is made, and I think there's a subset of Americans that think maybe ICE has been a little bit heavy-handed, but they certainly don't want the Democrats' alternative, which is to completely eliminate any type of domestic immigration enforcement and to set us back to the scary days of Biden, where immigration was the number one issue to voters as they get into the voting booth.
Look, the midterms are going to be fascinating when it comes to that very issue. You're right when it comes to, the southern border, but when it spills into places like Minnesota, that might change the game. Nicholas, it's great to speak to you today. Looking forward to speaking to you again.